Welcome to Get Real with Jack and Cindy, where the stories are polished and the advice isn't trendy. We talk houses, markets, and the life that happens in between. The wins, the screw-ups, and everything unseen.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Get Real with Jack and Cindy. I'm Cindy Morrison.
And I'm Jack Wallace. Welcome, welcome. Well, happy parade.
Yes, absolutely. The Parade of Homes in Tulsa is underway.
Man, it's been crazy.
It has been very crazy. So for those of you who don't understand how the parade works, it's 1 to 7 p.m.
Every
a
day.
Sunday Saturday through the following, not that Sunday, but a week from then Sunday.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll be done on the 21st. But when you rep a builder, that's what you're doing every day from 1 to 7 is you are here representing them, walking people through the house and showing off the amazing detail like you see behind us. I love these white oak shelves from Envision Homes. Absolutely stunning.
Yeah, it's just also, it's such a great overview of what's happening in construction, and really a lot of people come through to get design ideas. I mean, it isn't just people looking for houses, so you have a lot of that traffic, which I love, because a lot of times people aren't expecting to buy a house, and then they go, oh, I could do this instead of my own remodel. And so I think that's where you also see a lot of that happen on the parade. So, and actually there's so many price points. So
Yes.
you're not just looking at million and above or 500 and below. I mean, like, you can sort of just go to your price point, or you can, go from your price point up and down and see all the different things. So I think it's a good survey for people also to see kind of what you get for the money right now.
Exactly. So you've got tire kickers or people coming through getting ideas. You've got...
Which we love.
Yes,
We want those,
absolutely. And just because it's a no right now, I kind of look at that as a not yet. It might be, they might build in the future. You've got your homes that are on the market right now. And then you have people who want to build. And so they're going around and seeing what the different builders have to offer.
And sort of doing the a la carte finishes and features that they would want. Yeah, I think it's really great. It's also good because sometimes you sort of get into one builder and you don't see anybody else's things that you could possibly do. So a lot of the builders probably don't like that, like in that respect. But it is good because you're really getting a good visual idea of what that means. And also, again, if you really like a scullery kitchen, what price point does that start happening in?
High price point.
Yeah. But I mean, in that price point right now, that's almost every house has that. So it's very interesting. But I did go to the winner of the higher end, the highest end, I guess.
Yeah.
Yesterday. Incredible house. Really great. Yeah, in Midtown. And just really kind of almost, sort of a Georgian style house. I mean, very classic, traditional, like
back.
Historic trims, and it's the floor is an Italian tile that's a porcelain that looks like wood, and it really looks like wood, like a parquet wood. No, so it's really fun to see, those things and to get exposed to kind of what's happening, and then also to know that is the house that won first place. And, it doesn't have a lot of the things that some of the other houses have, as far as some of the things that maybe people aren't as into as they were.
Right.
And so you're kind of seeing evolution, or you also go, well, maybe that's just a one-off,
Sure.
But it is interesting. But I am seeing the trend going more traditional. Yeah, for sure.
The pendulum always swings.
Absolutely. Yeah. And warmer tones. I mean, it seems like even in the homes that aren't traditional, we're seeing warmer tones. We're seeing, the wood and the darker tile. So it's really interesting to see all that. Still seems like a lot of white walls, which is beautiful. But definitely a lot more creams and tans and beiges.
That is my jam.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just not, I enjoy white, but I'm not a gray person. I don't really go toward the cooler tones. I like the warmer tones. So I'm very excited that, just a little hint of color in the cream to me is beautiful.
Yeah. Well, and even like with the white walls here, but then the beams and the wood being that sort of
Warm it up.
warm beige. Yeah, it's really beautiful. So,
Mike in this house did smooth walls, which I really, really like. Lots of fun lighting. Y'all really can't see it, but these are floating cabinets behind us, and they have light underneath. You know, I just
you
love.
can see it in that, yeah.
Well, you can see, but you can't see like the under the cabinets
There
where
you
the
go.
light. The
There you
light
go.
is
Yeah.
coming out on the floor. It's just, you know, I think that's stunning. I love those warm tones. I even love that, you know, the darker wood is back. I'm a white oak fan, but you're seeing just and color coming back.
Yeah. When I think
I
also,
love me some color.
You know, it also feels like we're seeing more individual taste coming back. Like it doesn't feel, you know, we kind of go where everybody starts kind of going to the next thing. And in that transition, you see a lot of different things until everybody sort of hones in on 2 or 3 things. And then that becomes the next where everybody goes. So it's kind of a fun period right now because you really can go into one house and it's completely different than the other house, and then another one that's completely different. And so it's actually one of the best years for that, I think, because you're going into a new transition of look. And so when you do that, you have a lot of different people kind of going, I think this is where we're going. I think this is where we're going. So yeah, so the builders are a little more experimental right now than they will be once people kind of hone in and this is what we like now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the Parade of Homes is free to visit. There is an app by, well, let me back up. So the Parade of Homes is brought to you by the Home Builders Association of Greater Tulsa. And they do have an app that you can download specifically for the parade.
You don't have to go buy it at Quick Trip anymore?
You can go buy one for $1 at Quick Trip, but if not, you can download it on your phone.
So if you're old school like us, go to Quick Trip and buy it for $1. Yeah.
Or come by and see me at this house because we do have some copies you can have for free.
There you go. There you go. But I do think it's really important everybody to realize that the most important part of parade is for you to really have a survey of the quality of the builders. Like when you're going out, if you're thinking about building at any time coming up, maybe it's even 2 or 3 years, it's a really great opportunity to go out and see what builder, when you walk into their homes, you really connect with and that it feels like home to you. And, you know, even down to like the quality, how they trim things out, how they finish things, you know, even how thick their granite is in their kitchens. I mean, all those things that mean something to you, this gives you a chance to really see what builder and who is doing that. And I think that's a really kind of, you can do that during the year too when you go to models and stuff, but this is like that on steroids. I mean, it's just, this is when all the builders really put their best foot forward and have actually held some properties back to really give you an idea of exactly what they do. Because so much of the time you don't see a lot of what the builders can do individually for people, specifically for people, because it's not, those don't ever hit the market. They are custom homes typically. And so the builders kind of do a little bit above their standard, more towards the custom for these houses. Also, it's an opportunity to buy one of those houses that is more customized without having to go through the process of a custom build, which can be daunting to say the least.
Oh yeah, this Envision home is $549.9, easier for me to say it that way. 3-bedroom, 2,709 square feet. And will you grab that? Do you see that little booklet right there? Yes. So one of the things that I've done, and I think it's important that you not just see the parade house if you're going to pick a builder, but you actually look at what they have. So like what I've done for Envision is I put together a lookbook.
Oh yeah,
because he really is a custom builder, nothing cookie cutter about it. You know, if you have a floor plan, he can draw it out. You know, if you have something in your mind, he's got lots of floor plans that he's built before. He can do uber modern or modern farmhouse, you know, or traditional, whatever you like. So that's, you know, if a builder can show you the different things that they've built, so you know that they can make whatever style, the idea is not that you're building the builder's dream house, you're actually building your dream house. So keep that in mind. And also find out how much the builder is a custom builder.
Sure.
Because a lot of builders will say they're custom and not everybody wants all custom. Not everybody wants to go pick out their tile, their countertops, their flooring, their
Well, you have to
all
have
the
a certain
things.
operation level that's different. You know, like I think Tulsa is a very interesting market for new construction because you have, you know, in some of the bigger markets, you have a lot of big box production builders, and they build, and that's it. And you
Right.
can do A, B, C, and here we go.
Right.
And they can do that because that's what sells, and they can do it all day long, and they don't have to deal with people that much. In Tulsa, you have less of that in the mid-range and upper range. Now, in
Yes.
the lower range, I think we're starting to see that a little bit more, where it's like, for this amount of money, yes, you can get this house.
And a
or
lot of
this
the
house.
smaller local companies have been bought out by national
Sure.
companies.
So
yeah.
they're doing that, and what's nice about that, honestly, is what's nice about that actually is that they can go to this house, and then they can frame this one, then they can go next door and frame this one. I mean, they have it down to where it's just boom, 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 and so the prices stay low in order to pass that on and to get that, you know, that house to somebody for a price.
Exactly.
But then what you really have in the mid-range is you have some builders who will let you maybe pick a backsplash, or if you come in at the right time, or, you know, a tile or something. But in general, they're just a little bit above that production builder. Their quality's higher, but they're building in the same way, where
And
they
when you
do
pick-
boom,
when-
boom, boom.
Yeah, when you pick that floor plan, you pick everything about that house that's with that floor plan, and they don't change.
Right.
And then there's the
Or they
true-
just build it and spec it out. Like you just,
Yes.
you know, it's finished, now we put it on the market.
Yes. And then a true custom builder where you really do pick out everything.
Yeah.
And you also want to know how communicative your builder is. Like, are they going to keep you updated? One of the issues we had in 20 and 21 is, you know, people had signed contracts, but then the prices skyrocketed.
Yeah.
And so buyers
And God
said-
love the builders who, I mean, stood by it and did their pricing and did it. And then I also changed a lot of builders who said, I can't do this anymore. I'm just going to build it, and then this is what we sell.
Sure, sure.
Period.
And, you know, because builders could go out of business, you know, if they...
Easily.
Yeah. So as the prices went up, a lot of buyers were sitting at the closing table and finding out they owed $75,000, $100,000, $150,000 more dollars than what their loan was for,
Right.
or what they had decided to buy for. And, you know, that was an issue. I will say that is one of the reasons I love working with Envision Homes, is for those 2 years, every contract that they signed, they honored those contracts. So whatever the price was, they ate it. They didn't make money for 2 years, but they felt like ethically for them, that was the right thing to do. And financially, they were able to do that.
Right.
And I really appreciate that. Like I said, not every builder did that or could do that, but that was nice. So, and when you're looking at building, you know, are you going to sign a contract for a price up front? Is it cost plus, where...
Which is very common now. Yeah. And appropriately so.
Yes, with Envision Homes, you sign a contract and that's what the price is going to be. But the cost plus is where basically you are paying the builder a certain amount, and then you're paying for all of the materials. And if they go up, they go down. You
Right.
eat that or reap it, one or the other.
Right. And then also, you also have to understand how change orders work. So if you're doing like what you're talking about with your builder, where he does or they do, this is the price. Now that is the price for everything that we have gone through in detail and said you're going to do and you're going to get. But if you decide you want a different tile, or you want a different granite, or you want a different, and that's more expensive, then that's a change order. Or you want to move a wall just 2 inches.
Just two.
But it is funny, like people will go, I just want to bump that out just 2 inches. That shouldn't cost any more. No, that it does. Yeah. I mean,
Especially if it's already, you know, we've had people that have come in and they haven't drywalled yet, but they've set the wall, and then they're like, yeah, I want to bump that back 2 inches. That takes a lot. I mean, you've got electrical, you've got
Yeah.
you know, all kinds of things that
I mean, in
that
the
have to
early,
change.
when you're planning stage, maybe 2 inches isn't as much as like a foot.
Right.
But if you're already in the process, it can be very bad. Yeah, so you just have to be aware, and every builder is sort of a little different in how they do their change orders. So that's a really important one to, and some builders do it as they have to make sure they're covered, and some do it honestly as a nuisance tax, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
A diva fee.
they want to cover themselves, but then it's also like, there's got to be some boundaries here because we can't always be doing that. Another tip, completely off subject, but if you go in and you're having your house built and you walk in and something's not just a little off, do not tell the people to stop working.
Yes. Absolutely.
I cannot tell you how often that happens. And then the project gets delayed a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks because you said, I want you off the project until I get this figured out. And they just go on and they have to keep their people working. They go on to something else and then they get back to you when they can. Instead of, let me talk to my builder, let him talk to you, and then maybe we can change this right now. But people will tell them to get off their job or to stop, and they will set their hammer down, but they will take it with them 2 doors down. And then they don't get back to you until they complete that job. So
because they are subs that work for the builder.
That's right.
So they're going to go on, yes, to that next job. And it may not even be with that builder. They may be booked out the next 2 months.
100%.
With other jobs, and yours goes to the end of the line.
Yeah, and I mean, my dad was a builder, so I'm very sensitive to that, but that is one of the biggest. And then people are upset with the builder for not getting it done on time, but they're the one who 3 times has told someone to stop working and delayed the project by 2 months.
Sure.
And in their mind, they were preventing it from going further before everything was, but a lot of times the builder has a way to just get right on it and get that fixed in the process while they're in the middle of the work. So I think that's one of the biggest tips. And I think
huge.
people really get emotional when they walk in and go, this is not what I wanted. Now, I mean, if they're about to put tile in and they haven't put any tile in, maybe you have to say, I don't think that's the right tile, and immediately call your builder. I mean, like those kind of things, yes. But like in general, I think that's one of the biggest problems we have.
Another problem is the contract. Make sure that you fully are aware of everything in that contract. And I would suggest not only just reading it, but also putting it in ChatGPT or Claude.
Or Notebook LM, where you can ask it questions.
Exactly.
And
hey, what are the good things about this contract? Where are places that I could get in trouble? My builder in particular, Envision, uses the Greater Tulsa Association of Realtors contract that we would use on any new house.
And see, the builder I repped, he had his own contract.
Yes, and that is extremely common.
And it was very simple. That was the thing too for him. He likes the simplicity of the contract. It spells it out very simply, where there's a lot of and, ifs, or buts in the other contract to him. So it just depends on the builder and their comfort level on how they do things. But you have to be aware that is the contract you will be living with.
And read it, because, like if they're not finished on time and you get charged every day that they're not done on time, even though the builder didn't get it done, or you end up going to court and it says in there you have to pay their legal fees, or whatever it is, just make sure if it's a builder written contract, you have completely read through it and you are okay with all of the terms, because that's what you're signing.
Absolutely. And I think people oftentimes, just because you assume something to be the case is not the case. Yeah, so I think that's a really good one. But that's also a really good opportunity, even if you're going around looking at different builders on the parade. It's actually fair to say, how does your contract work? Now, some builders are even interested, like they don't want to give out their contract until you're ready to make a deal,
Right?
For various reasons. But in general, that person can tell you whether they use the standard Oklahoma or they have their own, and kind of the basics if it's their own.
Right. Also look at like your lighting package, your countertop budget, your flooring budget. Look and see if it's actually doable, or are you wanting to go into Restoration Hardware and pick out, $100,000 in lights? So, realize that, what their package is going to get you. And if you want to increase that, and get credit back and go pick out your own lighting. Just realize that there's, there are amounts that are set aside for each project.
Right.
And if you're going to do something different or want something extra, realize that that's going to cost you extra. For instance, in this house, the white oak back there that's so beautiful that is an upgrade. Everything else you see in this house, minus the fridge, is all standard. So when you're looking at the contractor, sitting down and talking, are the wood floors extra? Are the beams extra? Make sure you know what's standard, and that when you're looking at maybe 2 or 3 builders, you realize, okay, all things are standard pretty much with this one. This one's about the same price, but all those things are an upgrade.
Yeah, and that's a really good point when it comes to parade, because again, the builders are putting their best foot forward in the look. Mm-hmm. They're not putting their best foot forward in the pricing.
Right.
And so it's very fair to go into the house and say, okay, well, this one, if it says starts at, and this is the house, you pretty much know there's a whole lot of extras that went into that. Mm-hmm. And so I would say, well, what is the actual price of this one? And you need to know and break that down, because that is hard, because the builders want to show off what they can do.
Right.
But then the same thing, if they're a builder that sells $450 to $550, and they've upped stuff to where that would be like a $600,000 house, but people are thinking, oh, that's a $450. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a big difference, right? And so you have to know, oh, this is different. And so asking what are upgrades in this is really a smart way to do it.
Sure.
Is this what the builder does standard for their projects?
And at $549,900, that is already priced in here. But if you built the house, you would just need to know that is an upgrade, and that's an upgrade I would pay for. I'm just telling you.
And a lot of times also people will say, well, I'm going to get my own fixtures from Amazon, or I'm going to get them from, which I'm sure there are a lot of builders that will allow that. But, you have to be really careful, because sometimes that you get things that don't get here in time. They get here, they're not what you really thought they were going to be, and then you get something different. Or they get here and they don't meet the standard that builder needs it to be for the house to pass code or to get installed, or it's so heavy. I've had that where they've ordered such heavy fixtures that then they had to reinforce and take sheetrock out. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that builders have to do it correctly that can change. So a lot of builders are like, we don't do that,
right,
or it has to be approved through us.
And just because your buddy has an HVAC company or a roofing company or something else doesn't mean that the builder is going to say, okay, yeah, I want you to get that friends and family discount, because they are in charge of that overall quality of the home. And if somebody puts on an inferior roof,
it's bigger than that even, because they have to warrant it. In Oklahoma, you have to have a 1-year warranty as the builder. Mm-hmm. And so the builder has to warrant. So even if your brother-in-law comes in and does all the HVAC, once you sign that contract, I mean, you're pretty much warranted as the house, and that can fall under the builder. So, or worst case you might get into is that they exclude that, and then something goes wrong and you have no warranty on that. So
now you and your brother-in-law don't speak anymore.
Yeah. So I mean, so all that sounds really good, but it doesn't necessarily translate well. So it's business at the end of the day. That everybody's got to make sure they're doing the right thing for themselves and protect themselves, including the builder, including the buyer. So these are all just basic things. Asking. Mm-hmm. Always ask. Don't assume that comes with a house or that doesn't come with a house. That's really, if you walk into a house and someone says, which, when I had ours on, I would always say, this is 100% what you get. Mm-hmm. Because we pretty much did it that way. Mm-hmm. And so they knew this was the quality you could get.
And that's, I think, important with a model. I know what Mike Parks always tries to do with Envision is the model is everything that's standard. So people aren't misled.
But a lot of companies do it different. A lot of companies do the highest, because they want to be able to say, this you can do, this you can do, this you can do, this you can do. It's going to cost you this, it's going to cost you that. Mm-hmm. But when you walk in, you think, oh, so this house is blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. Until they go this and this and this, and then it's suddenly 100, 150 more. I mean, it adds up fast, kids.
and Oklahoma loves to talk about price per square foot, and I completely get that. But remember, if you're building on a lot of land or a super high-end neighborhood, yes, that cost per square foot for a house is going to be different than maybe in another neighborhood.
Sure. And the other thing you run into with the square foot price when it comes to new construction in a neighborhood like this particular neighborhood is an established neighborhood. So your new construction in an established neighborhood. So that new construction in an established neighborhood square foot pricing is difficult because you can compare it to all the new homes in this neighborhood and then the adjoining newer neighborhood. That's one that you can do it to, or you can do it to the next door neighbor, which is a 10-year-old house. And so you really get into like just pulling this neighborhood doesn't really give you the right picture.
Right.
And so that's one thing that you really have to do. If it's a brand new neighborhood and you're pulling and houses are like houses, that's apples to apples. But this would be apples and oranges.
Exactly right.
So you really have to know what you're getting into. Then the other thing too is you could have a house next door that's 10 years old, but it has a swimming pool and it has all, they put in a whole bunch of things aftermarket, which makes it more valuable. You just never know. So you just have to be aware that can be an interesting thing. You just don't pull comps and go, okay, we got it.
Right, right. So the Parade of Homes runs through June 21st, 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. I'm in the Sunset Hills neighborhood in Broken Arrow. Well, it's actually Tulsa, but Broken Arrow schools through the 21st. So
awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so before we say goodbye, I want you to tell us about your trip to New York. I didn't even tell you I was going to ask about that, but
it was great. It was great. We went to see all the shows that we hadn't seen that were up for Tonys, and had friends in the shows, and so we just went.
We means him and his very dear friend Kristen Chenoweth, who we adore.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't just have been there doing that on my own. Yeah, so riding on her coattails, but also it was great because it's hard for her to go just sit in an audience by herself. And
sure.
So her husband had to go do some gigs with Ty Herndon, and so I went up and just had the pleasure of hanging out with my best friend for.
You were the plus one.
5 days, yeah. So
now, what
really
shows
fun.
did you go see?
We saw Chess, which was amazing, but it's closing Sunday.
Oh.
Lots of stuff closing. We saw Titanic, which was hysterical.
That looks funny.
Yeah, it was really fun. And we saw Lost Boys, which is incredible.
I want to see that.
It's really good. It's a very, it's very production worthy. It's like big production. Story is like the same story as the movie. It's a vampire teen kind of thing, but it is really good. I mean, it was really interesting and fun.
And you saw the Oklahoma
a lot more contemporary singing.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we saw Schmigadoon.
Fun.
Which is so fun. And
so the TV show is based off of a musical?
No. So they took the music, the TV show, and then they condensed it in, and they covered every storyline and did everything. But it's like, a 2-hour. It's amazing how well they did it.
It's the Reader's Digest version.
But it's like classic singing. It's classic dance. It won Best Musical. Classic singing, classic dancing. You could understand every word. It was hysterically funny. So, and it was interesting because Kristen did the original Mayor's Wife, and Anna Gasteyer does that role now, and Anna was so great, and she's such a wonderful human being. I love her to death. But she did her version, so it wasn't like watching somebody imitate Kristen, which I loved that. It was really good, and I like a little bit of her, and I like a little bit of like you can kind of see each one is its own thing.
Yeah.
So,
and then you saw the Oklahoma one, the Pony Boy. Didn't you see?
I saw that a couple of years ago.
Oh, you didn't see that again?
No,
okay.
No, but it's so good. Outsiders.
Outsiders. Thank you.
Yeah.
Couldn't
Pony
come up
Boy.
with it. Isn't that?
That's the sequel. Pony Boy. No, the Outsiders is excellent. It's really good. And friends from Tulsa are the big producers of that. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was so fun. It was really fun. And then our friend Mary Mitchell won the big award for philanthropy. Yeah, our camp
at the
director.
Tonys.
Yeah, and so Kristen presented. So everybody came over to Kristen's, and the two of them got glammed and did all that. And then so it was really fun.
That
it was a really
is
fun
awesome.
trip.
We have a guest fly. We
Yeah.
have a fly that wants to make a guest appearance. Sorry about that. That is also one of the things with the Parade of Homes. One other thing I want to mention this morning, I was over.
The fly heard you.
Yeah, the fly did hear me. I'm sorry. I love you.
Screen time.
Yeah, it's going to get stuck in my lip gloss. I'm pretty for sure.
Oh, I'd give anything to see this. Oh,
Seriously,
really?
it loves me right now. But on a serious note, I went this morning to the Oklahoma Blood Institute to do a PSA,
Good
which
job.
I'll post later today. They called me and they have less than a day, about a half day's blood supply right now.
It's not good.
And they showed me a shelf that literally one hospital could wipe that all out.
Wow.
So if you have a chance, please, it's very bad in Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Texas, but it's not like we can lean on other blood supplies because there is a blood supply issue across the country.
Wow.
So, heaven forbid any of us be in a car accident or have surgery.
Well, and
or
also
whatever.
right now you have boating and all the and all the activities in summer, and I mean it's really, they definitely need it. So yeah, if anyone has an inclination to do that, please do it.
And they're looking for all blood types, but particularly, I think it's O that they use in a traumatic surgery where they don't have time to test their blood and find out what kind of blood they have. That's the one we're particularly low on
I can
right
never
now.
remember my blood type.
Me either.
It's
All
so
I know
stupid.
is
It's like there's 4 kinds. Why can't I remember what I am? But how often do you use that in your real life?
Yeah, exactly. I just walk in and in fact, I gave blood this morning while I was there. And it takes you an hour. You are saving lives. So please.
It's also good for your body.
It is.
Yeah, it's really good for your body. It makes your body recalibrate, and it makes you build up better blood cells.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So do it for you.
The things you need to
You can't do it for the world. Do it for you.
But yes, if you, and also if you belong to a church, school, having a blood drive right now is super important. So just wanted to add that in here at the end. So yes, please give blood if you can.
So come to the parade. Come see us.
Yes, please come see us. All right. Have a great day.
Welcome to Get Real with Jack and Cindy, where the stories aren't polished and the advice isn't trendy. We talk houses, markets, and the life that happens in between. The wins, the screw ups, and everything unseen.